Hello, this time around we're going to look at how to set up Git in an existing IntelliJ project. So in the previous video we just clicked Git off in the checkbox and say create this project, new project under Git version control, and everything was set up correctly for us from the beginning. But maybe you have a project that you've been working on and at some point you figure out, hey, I want to put this on Git, so I need to add stuff to it. So that's what we're going to do in this video. It's showing off the Maven build instead of the IntelliJ build system, but if you have an existing project with the IntelliJ build system, you just need to put the same kind of files under version control. That means all your class files, and then there was this .idea folder which had a few things in it. So basically you could create a new project and have that under Git, and then you can compare, because then you also get the two ignore files which says which should not be under Git version control. For example, your out folder where all your compiled classes goes to when you run the program. Alright, let's give it a go. Now let's add Git to an existing project. So I have my pizza app, and let's go and check that out. It's here, Pizza Reviewer, and it's opening on the other view. Okay, and we can see it's just black, all my text, so there's no Git ignore or anything. So this has not been under Git version control. I did not check that checkbox initially when I created the project, so there's a little more involved in setting this up. We go to VCS and we go to create Git repository, and yes, so IntelliJ is always a bit slow to load things. Hang on, yeah, it took forever. Don't know why IntelliJ is so slow, but I want this one. I want to create a repository here, Pizza Reviewer. Yeah. So you can see it's set up with a similar approach, but this time I'm using Maven to build things. So it looks slightly different. My data access, I don't care about the source, maybe I do a little bit. And there's another, so the console UI. And you can see that Git recognizes the file. They're red, but they're not under version control. And I want to do the same thing. I want to have my, I want to have UI. If I add this to Git, no, not the module, but the source folder, because if I do the module, it will also take this one, and this is my build files, which are regenerated all the time, so I don't want those, but I want this one. I can say Git add. It's adding, takes them, and there we go. And we should be able to see that my files are green, so they are added to Git but not committed. And nothing in here is green, that's red, so it doesn't know about it. So I want these files as well. Let's add. Hopefully Git is a bit fast. Okay, so it's just the first time. I want this source folder, that's where I have my main. Right? I know there's code inside the source folder, so I want my code under version control. Add. Okay, it takes, and there we go. It takes some time when it's a hierarchy, I guess. Up here I want my source folder, Git add. Take some time, not much. This one, right, XML, pom XML, that's this one is my root, right? So it knows about my other modules. So these pom XML files, they put everything together. They make all the connections and the references, so that's important. So my data access is under version control. And I think that's all of it. I can go here and see. So you can see I have all these files that I added, and I have stuff that a bunch that has not been added. And I don't want class files. That's what has been built, which are located inside the target here. So these are my class file that has been built. I don't want that. So if I don't want that, we can go ahead and say target and target and target. I want to add to ignore. and I want to create a git ignore file. So you can see all of these folders are now not under git control, and my file here has been, is created. I need to add that to git as well. That's done automatically. Let's just verify. Oh, it popped up here. Always a bit slow. There we go. Okay, so now git is added to, you can see it's green. So that is because if I set up this project for someone to check out and work on it, they need to have the same setup, which files should be ignored. So again, I just want my source files and potential resources, my tests, my resources. This is what I want to put under version control, not what is generated whenever I run the program. So that is adding Git to a new, I need these as well. The workspace was not under version control in the other one, I think. So maybe there's some locally stuff. I don't know. We take these. Yeah, workspace is not by default, so that's not supposed to be under version control. But these, we add those as well. Okay, so this video is a bit on the fly, so might be more structured. But here we are, and we're waiting again, and that went well. So we can see everything here has been added to Git. We're looking at the staging area. You can see that I don't have the unversioned files from the target folders anymore, because those were added to a git ignore file, and apparently you can have multiple git ignore files, so that's fair. So that's setting up an existing project. It's essentially the same if you do it with the build system from IntelliJ, similar to what we did before. So I hope this makes sense to you. So that's what you need to add to Git and what you need to ignore. That should be a good starting point. And as always, thank you for watching, and see you in the next part.